Stone Church, how you doing today? Happy Mother's Day. We are so glad. Can we just give it up for our mamas in the place? Give it up for our mamas. Here's what I know. Mother's Day, it is a fun day. It is a crazy day. But the fact that you're at church just shows me a lot about who you are, because some of us, maybe we're here in yoga pants and a messy bun. Maybe some of us, we had to have 4 different very critical conversations, i.e. yelling at our children to get in the car. We got 3 minutes to leave. Maybe you're one of those superhero moms and you got kids matching today and all that, everything. You've already taken pictures. You've already had brunch. You've already had all that, and you're here at church. No matter where you find yourself today, we are so glad that you are here today. We just want to celebrate you. We want to honor you. We just know this much. We know that God is good, and moms must be his favorite because he made you, and then us dads, we're just who we are. We're second all the time. Don't tell everybody that, but that's true. We're second. So we're just excited. Today, we are going to jump in. We're going to take a break from our Revelation series to actually look at moms. We're going to look at a mom in the Bible. Now, here's the thing, is the Bible is a good place for us to find characteristics and different things that we can learn, glean from when it comes to how we should live our lives. Moms, I would love for you to look at some of this for yourself, but also, guys, don't check out. This is for us too. I think there's some things that we can pull from this as well. In the Bible, like I said, there's a bunch of moms. There's Hannah, like we talked about a second ago. There's Rebecca. There's Jesus' mom. Jesus had a mom, Mary. But the mom that we're going to look at today is a mom who is actually, she's a mom, but she's also a mother-in-law. Anybody have mother-in-laws? If you got mother-in-law, let me see those hands. Let me see those hands. Yeah, not very many guys raise their hand. They're like, I don't know. But if she's in the room, you better be like, yes. She said, yes. My mother-in-law, she was here first service. She was right over there. Love her to death. But this is a mother-in-law. But there's some things here that we're going to see from Naomi. We're going to be in the book of Ruth. So if you have your Bible, you can turn to Ruth. We're going to start in Ruth 1. And now here's what I'm going to say. Before we get going, I've been really trying to begin another career, okay, to supplement to the best of my ability what I can do. And here's my second career. I want to get into stand-up comedy. So I'm going to try my bit on you guys for a second. Is that all right? But I can't do dad jokes because it's not Father's Day. So I'm going to do mom jokes. Can I do some mom jokes for you? Is that all right? Yeah. All right, even if it's not, I'm going to do it anyways. Here we go. How about this one? Number one. This is about delivery sometimes. Moms don't wish they could sleep like a baby. They wish they could sleep like a dad. Dads, feel me? My wife literally tells me, like, there's times where we're talking, and in the middle of a sentence, I'm out. She's like, I wish I could sleep like that. I try. How about this one? What's the fastest way for a mom to get her kids' attention? What's the fastest way for a mom to get her kids' attention? How about this? Sit down and look relaxed. Oh, yeah, no, okay. I thought it was funny, whatever. How about this? Silence is golden, you agree? Until you have kids. Then it's kind of suspicious. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever asked moms, ever asked, things are just a little bit too quiet right now for something to be good going on? I'm going to be honest with you, like, I think this goes for dads too, because, like, as parents, I've learned, like, listening is better than singing sometimes, because I can just hear things. And if it's just too quiet, I've never had my kids in a room by themselves. Actually, one time, my wife and I were like, it is really quiet in the house, and we went, and my daughter she's reading her Bible. Then there's been times where that's not the case. We stopped a fire from happening. We've... a cat getting skinned. Silence is gold until you have kids. How about this one? This was a mom, and she said this. She said, my tween is mad at me. Anybody have tweeners? How about teenagers, early teenagers? We got those. How about this? She said, and it's probably because of the stuff I've been doing, all the terrible things I've been doing this morning. I stood in the kitchen, poured some coffee, stared out the window, and said good morning and breathed. Yeah, I feel that one 100%. How about this one, last one? How did the digital clock show off to its mother? Look, Mom, no hands. And all those over 40 get it, and nobody else does. But I'm going to tell you what, that show's going to go on the road. It's going to be free, so hopefully I'll get somebody. But we are just so thankful that you're here today. We're going to jump into the book of Ruth. But before I do that, I do want to say this. Mother's Day is a really fun day. Moms, we are so thankful for you. We are so thankful for all that you've done for us. They said it up here that Dana said we would be dead without moms. We wouldn't be alive without moms. We literally wouldn't be alive without moms. Some of us, we didn't go to jail because our moms stopped us from doing something really, really stupid. Some of us, we went to jail and our mom was there for us when we were in jail. There's so many different things that we can look at. And here's what I know is that Mother's Day is amazing, but on the other hand, Mother's Day can be a tough day. And at the end of service, we're going to take a time to pray for a few different people, but I want you to know today that we recognize that Mother's Day can be difficult. Maybe for some of us, today is the first Mother's Day that Mom's not here. That's tough. And we want you to know from the bottom of our hearts, we understand that. We want you to know that we care. And we also know that there's also women in this room right now, couples in this room right now, that infertility has been difficult. We want a baby. We've been trying for a baby. It's just not happening. And Mother's Day is just a reminder that it's not happening. We're going to take time later on to pray for you. Last year, a couple years ago, we had somebody who came up to me and said, on Mother's Day, we prayed for infertility issues. We prayed for not being able to have children, and I just wanted to let you know that a couple weeks later she said, we found out that we're pregnant. I believe that we serve a God of miracles and a God that can provide. So if that's God's will, that's what we're going to pray for today. Is that okay? Well, we're going to jump in now, and we're going to jump into Ruth 1. If you got your Bibles, Ruth 1. And here's what it says. It says, in the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech. Someone say Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahalan and Chilion. They were Ephraimites from Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to Moab and lived there. Now Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other named Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahalan and Chilion also died. And Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. Now there's something about a name. Would you agree? There's something about a name. Now here's what I'm going to tell you. Aren't you so thankful? Like I have a Bible name. Matthew is a Bible name. Some of us we were wise when we were naming our kids. We named Matthew and Joseph and John but we don't. I've never met someone named Elimelech or Chilion. But there's something in a name. Would you agree? Do you remember, parents? Do you remember when you were coming up with the decision to name your children? Like you two together. That's hard. That can be a difficult time if you got difference of opinions. Now for us, my wife and I, it was easy for Jaden, our first. Because being the dad, she said, you know what, honey, you name him, and we'll just go with that. And so we named him Jaden with an I. Doesn't start with an I, there's an I in the middle. Jaden. Then, only fitting that we would have a daughter next. So the only fair thing is to what? Allow my wife to name our daughter. And she came up with a beautiful name, McKenna. McKenna. Everything says MC, it's not, it's M-A-K, but it is what it is. But then we had a third. I've already named one. She's already named one. What do you do now? Because we had totally different names. For me, the first one, I came to her and said, oh, it's a boy. I know what I want to name him. Let me name him. We're going to name him Jalen. That was not funny. That was literally what I was saying. But my wife said, that's a girl's name. I said, oh, really? I said, well, here's a few sports stars that have the name Jalen. Jalen Rose. That's all I could think of. She's like, we're not naming our son Jalen because it rhymes too much with Jaden. We're not doing that. She goes, oh, I know what we'll name him. We'll name him Tate. And I said, over my dead body, we'll name my son that. We are not naming that kid Tate. That's weird. Now, if your name is Jalen or Tate, that's a beautiful name. Beautiful name. It's just not for us. But she goes, well, what if it was Tate Madden? And I said, no, but she goes, well, I like Madden. I like the name Madden. And I went, we're not going to name our son Madden. Here's the reason why. See, I had a little bit of an addiction to video games, and I actually was really, really good at a certain video game, a football video game called Madden Football. Just to toot my own horn, I was at one time top 50 in the world. No big deal. I just can beat all of you. But in that, I didn't want to name my son Madden because I didn't want everybody thinking, oh, you love the game so much, you named your son after it, because that's weird. And then I didn't want to go to a parent-teacher conference and then they'll go, hey, did you name him Madden because you love the video game so much? I'm like, we're not naming him Madden. But here's the thing, guys. You know how it is in marriage. We lose every time. So we named him Madden. My wife won. His name's Madden. Guess what? I have had so many times people ask me, like I literally told this story to somebody the other day and they're like, I thought you named him Madden because of the video game. No, because my wife is smarter than me and she chose it. Now here's the thing, is that I can't imagine his name not being anything other than Madden. But guess what else happened? We went to a parent-teacher conference and guess what the teacher asked me? There's something about a name. That's what's happening here. Naomi and Elimelech. They named their sons. Now, here's what's funny. Their names are amazing names. Their kids' names, the meaning of their names, because back in the day, like the name actually meant something more than I just like the way it's spelled. It meant something. There was a deeper meaning behind it. The original language, there was a deeper meaning. Now, here's the thing. For their kids, their names in the original language would translate today to sick and tired. Oh, wow. How bad was her pregnancies? How rough? That would literally be like naming your son and your daughter or your sons nausea and cankles. Like, what's going on? But this is the name that they give them. But here's the thing. Can you just remember those days when you get your kids and you see them for the first time? Oh, they're a family. They're a family of 4. But then tragedy hits. For every single person that's ever had to endure this, where you lose your spouse, I'm so sorry. That's what happens to Naomi. Elimelech, he dies. Now, here's the thing, is that they're trying to move. There's a famine that hits, and so he's moving his family, and this famine, it's bad. But they leave, and they get to Moab, and when they get there, they meet these women, these Moab women, and here's the beautiful thing about this is that these 2 men, they get married to these beautiful women. And then it says 10 years later, again, something that I would never wish on anybody. We're not supposed to bury our kids. Our kids are supposed to bury us. But Naomi loses both her boys. You know what's crazy about this is that this woman is broken. Can we just, here's what I know we do a lot when we read scripture is that we read it as a story, but can we stop reading it as a story and can we just put ourselves in the position of the people who are going through it? How would you feel? Where would you be at? What would your mentality be if you lost your husband and your kids? Broken. But Naomi, she does things differently. Naomi, she moves differently. And in this, I think there's some things that we can take away from her life and the way she responded as moms today. But in Ruth 1:6, it says this, when we move on, if we just move on with the story, it says, when Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food for them, she and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home from there. So now they're heading back. With her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living and set out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah. Then Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, go back, each of you, to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the home of another husband. Then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud. Here's the first thing that we see in Naomi that is evident in so many moms. Selflessness. Selflessness. When we look at this story, now here's the thing about the story is that now she's making a trek back. And this trek back that she's going to be making is a 30-mile trek. For us, we go, that's a 30-minute drive. But I don't know if you know this or not. Spoiler alert in the Bible. They didn't have Uber. But let's just put it in their time. They also aren't traveling by camel or donkey as well. They're hoofing it. This is going to be a long journey. But she knows she's got to get them back. And here's what I love about this is that she gets, and she realizes, you know what? Here's what we're going to do is you guys have been so good to my husband, or to my sons and to me, but I want you to live a life, because here's the thing, is that going through this moment as widowers, she knows that if they're childless, this is a status thing. That if you don't have, she knows this, and so she wants them to find something else. She wants them to find a different husband and to have children and to have all that she can have. And so she gives a decision. She says, hey, we love you, I love you, but I want you to go and find someone else. Can I just remind you that this lady is broken? But she's not thinking about herself. Moms, this is you. How many times, I know my wife does it, how many times have you made dinner for the family and you eat it cold, but everybody else eats it warm? That's selflessness. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm the first one done, but if the shoe fits. And I don't think to go let but wives, moms, when our kids fall down, who's the first one there to pick them up? Mom. How many moms have gone without? I know that my mom has gone without. My mom would do things for us that I would never expect anybody to ever do. And I didn't even know for so many years until I would talk to her and she would tell me the sacrifices she made. Moms, we see the sacrifice. This is who you are. It's what you do. And we're thankful for it. It reminds me of the story that I heard that it's this farm, this kind of free-range chicken farm. And they had a fire, and the fire just kind of took everything. And the firefighters are there, and they're kind of looking at the wreckage, and they're just kind of walking around, just checking out what all that's there. And one of the firefighters, he's walking, and he sees this lump in the dirt, and he wants to know what that is. What is that? And so he walks closer to it, and the closer he gets, so he realizes that it's a hen. Now, I don't know if you know this, but on a free-range farm, they don't clip the wings. So they're able to go where they want. They can fly a little bit. So when the fire comes, the hens can get out. Chickens can go. But this hen didn't make it. So he gets close to the hen, and he kind of moves it to see, hey, what's going on here? Is it still alive? Is it, what's underneath it? And as he kicks it up, out from underneath this hen are 4 little chicks. She could have left, but she gave her life for her children. Moms, that's you. Selflessness. We're so thankful for that. I can't imagine what some of the people in this room, some of you moms, what you've been through, but I can tell you this, your kids are better because of it. So thank you. The next thing that we see is Ruth 1:18 through 22. It says this, it says, when Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. Now, here's what I love about this is that Naomi tells Ruth and Ophrah to go. Now, here's the thing. They make a decision. And the decisions are different decisions. Orpah, she chooses to go. She gives her a kiss, she says goodbye, and she leaves. Ruth chooses not to. Ruth chooses to stay. It actually says, if you read a little bit more, it says that Ruth tells her, where you go, I'll go. Your people will be my people. Your God is my God. You see, Ruth made a decision to be obedient to what God was asking her to do and to stay with Naomi. Orpah chose a different path. Now, here's the thing, is that after this date, we don't hear anything else from Orpah. Now, Jewish tradition will tell us something different. Jewish tradition will tell us a little bit more about the story. Now, do I know fully well that this is exactly what happened? I don't, but I'm just going to go by tradition. Jewish tradition would tell us that Orpah would go on and live a life. She would have 4 children. Those 4 children would grow up to be giants. Not figuratively, but literally, giants. One of which would have the name Goliath. Ruth is going to have a son, and we'll talk a little bit more about this here in a little bit, but Ruth will have a son, and and down the line, her great-grandson will be a man by the name of David. Can I just tell you today, the decisions you make today, will impact your kids' future. Today we have an opportunity to fight the giants that our kids will never have to fight if we make the right decision. Moms, love your kids. Be selfless, but give it all. And that's what we see. So Naomi realized that, hey, Ruth says she's staying. So because she sees that she's staying, what happens? So the 2 women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the women exclaimed, can this be Naomi? Don't call me Naomi, she told them. Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has afflicted me. The Almighty has brought misfortune upon me. So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth, as the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. What do we see in Naomi here? She was honest and vulnerable. She was honest and vulnerable. Moms, I don't know if it's the culture. I don't know if it's that we got to have it all figured out, but I've seen so many moms put a mask on that everything's okay. We got it all figured out. We're superheroes. We're super moms. But many of us are struggling. See, right here, this is what's happening with Naomi. Naomi is on the way back, and she realized, and like, have you ever gone somewhere and you're like, hey, like, I haven't seen that person in a long time. Like, isn't that looks like so-and-so. Have you ever done that? I've done that. Like, that looks like so-and-so. That's what's happening here, that she comes back, and the women are sitting and go, isn't that Naomi? Is that Naomi? She's like, don't call me that. Call me Mara, because I've been through some stuff. And it's been bitter, it's been tough, it's been rough. She didn't do what we do. When we're having a rough day, we come to church and someone asks you, how are you doing today? Blessed, highly favored. Knowing full well you got in an argument with your husband on the way here. That you turned it off once the parking lot guy said, hey, Howard, welcome. And both of you smiling. Say something, I dare you to. We got to be honest. How are we going to be able to move on if we're not willing to be honest about what's going on in our life? Now, here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying just tell everybody your issues. I'm saying find the right people. Your family, your church family. Maybe there's some people in your life group. Maybe you're not part of a life group. Join a life group. And guess what? When you join a life group, you get friends. And when you get friends, you get people that you can trust and be vulnerable with. Here's what I know. I know too many of us in this place that we pretend that we got it all together, broken inside, and we can't figure out why we can't get it right. Because we're willing to put a mask on rather than be honest. Moms, can we just be honest? Can we just be real? I'm struggling today. Here's the thing. I know ladies that do this, and they're some of the happiest people. It's crazy. It's backwards, but it's not backwards. You know why? Because in the godly kingdom, those things that we think are backwards or wrong are actually the right way. God wants to expose it, and he wants to help you. And that's what we're seeing right here. Now they get back there, and the barley harvest is beginning. And if we were to read chapter 2, what chapter 2 would tell us is that they go out, and Naomi's starting to kind of do some harvesting, and she sees this guy. Now this guy is that guy. Like, ladies, remember when the first time you saw your husband, and you went, dang. That right there, whatever that was. Remember that? Babe, remember that? First time you saw me? This is that guy. She sees this guy, and his name's Boaz. And Boaz, he's like Carhartt, flannel, buff, good looking, So then we jump in here, and it says this. It says Ruth 3, 1-6. One day Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for." Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, get dressed in your best clothes, then go down to the threshing floor. But don't let him know you are there until he is finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go, uncover his feet, lie down. He will tell you what to do. I will do whatever you say, Ruth answered. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. Here we see Naomi living out another principle that I think is so often seen in moms. She's guiding with wisdom and care. If your mom has ever helped you in a season with wisdom or care, can you just put your hand in the air? This is not even her daughter. This is her daughter-in-law. But she knows the stigmatism of this woman if she's childless. Now, the thing is, the guy named Boaz, he is what's known as a kinsman redeemer. Now, what that means is that he's family with Naomi, not with Ruth, but family with Naomi. But as a kinsman redeemer, he has some jobs. He has some stuff he has to do. Some of the duties he has as a kinsman redeemer, number one, is if a slave was bought, he would have to buy back the slave. If it's part of the family, I'm going to buy you back. My job as a kinsman redeemer is to buy you back. If land is bought, stolen, taken, it's his job to buy it back. But then when it comes to women, if they're a widower without children, if they're childless, his job is to take them, marry them, and have babies with them. It's his job. So Naomi knows this and is going, you know what? Hey, we need to figure this out. Here's what I want you. She's giving her some advice. And my son, he just went to prom. So, and I went to prom, and ladies, you know how you get all dolled up. So let me put it in your terms. Naomi tells her, hey, Boaz is working. So here's what you need to do while he's working. I need you to go down to Ulta. I need you to put your face on. Then I need you to go to Macy's. And while you're at Macy's, go to the sample area and put on some perfume, the best perfume, that $150 perfume. You know, nobody buys the real stuff. We all do. I try and make it at least like 3 weeks. Go in there, spray myself, try and make it 3 weeks. I just don't shower. I'm the only one who does that, okay. Then I want you to get a dress, and I want you to get the prettiest dress. I want you to get the dress that you just feel like you just look great in. I want you to get all dolled up, and I want you to get ready. But here's the thing, and ladies, she knows the way to a man's heart. Let him eat first. Let him eat. Once he's done eating, and once he's done, then I want you to watch where he's laying. And then I want you to go uncover his feet, lay down. He'll tell you what to do. She didn't do this to get anything out of it. Moms, you don't tell us things to do to get something out of it. You just want us to live our best life, to live the best life. And from this, that's exactly what happens. Now I'm going to spoil the end here. They have a baby. We talked about it a second ago. His name's Obed. Someone say Obed. Obed would go on, he would have a son named Jesse. Jesse would have a son named David. And our Savior would come from that line. Listen. Some of the decision was because Naomi was willing to be a mom, even when it was hard. Even when she was broken, even when she was defeated, she chose her kids. We just have so many people in this room, so many ladies in this room that you're just trying to get by today. But we live in a culture where we're trying to compare ourselves to others. If you haven't been attending I've said this a few times, but I want to say it for you today, moms. Please do not compare yourself to someone else's fantasy that you see on social media. Here's what I know. You know that perfect picture that she took where she looks glowing? Oh my goodness, look, her jawline is just like perfect. Yeah, because she's sticking it out as far as she can. She got a double chin just like us. It took 3 filters and 97 different pictures to finally get the picture that she posts. And we compare ourselves to that. But moms, how about this one? That's just for the ladies. Moms, how about this one? We look at some mom and she's super mom. Oh my God, honey, why can't we be more like them? Why can't we be more like her? Look at her picture. Her house is immaculate. Look at that. That's what you saw? Turn the camera around. Can I just be honest with you? I posted a picture of my wife today on social media. I literally had to enlarge it so I could get some of the stuff that was back behind it out of the picture so you thought our house was spotless. But we compare ourselves to that. Oh, look, they went to Hawaii, not realizing that 30 seconds before that picture, everyone wanted to punch themselves. Punch the other ones, I mean. I didn't want to punch her because she's my wife, but the kids? Don't act like you're not there. Like, I'm the only one. Okay, sounds good. We compare ourselves to fantasy. Can we just be real? Can I? Mom's eyes here. I know this is your move, but I'm taking it. We love you, not in spite of your failures and your flaws, but because of them. Because you love us and you care for us. My mom sacrificed for us, and I was the biggest jerk to her. And it wasn't until I grew up that I realized that my mom loved to sacrifice for us so that we would have everything she didn't. And then it just makes me realize my grandma's in the room, and my grandma's been through a bunch of stuff, but she's still standing. Because of her, she taught us how to love Jesus. She never stopped loving Jesus. Were there seasons where it's hard? Yeah. It's a ripple effect. The decisions we make today will impact future generations. What decision are you going to make? Are we going to teach our kids about Jesus? That's number one. Because here's the thing, we can't get, at some point, we just got to let the kids go. If they end up in jail, they end up in jail. Like, I don't think any parent goes, I hope my kid grows up to be a felon. But God knew they would be a felon. That's why he gave you them and gave them you. Because you will love them through. Church, moms, thank you. We love you. We might not say it enough. We may forget. But we love you. And we're thankful for you. So here's how we wanted to end today. Today, moms, we want to pray for you. But I don't want you to come forward or anything like that. I want you to pray with your family. So if your mom is in the room, you're probably sitting next to her or near her. We want you to pray during this song. We want you to pray with your family. Now here's the thing, husbands, pray for your wife. Kids, pray for your mom. But we want you to pray blessing over your mom. Wisdom, strength, energy, peace. Now here's the thing, if you know that your family's not here, or if you know somebody, their family's not here, just bring them in. We're family here. We're all family. We all should be praying together. But during this song, that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to come up and we're going to finish off with a prayer that's very